I was talking over dinner today and ended up talking a little bit about dreams and desire. Seems like a pretty common theme. And what came to mind was the person I was talking to was sort of struggling with not knowing what to do. So having a sort of dream, a fuel in their heart, and not knowing exactly where to put it or exactly what to fill or what to do. It's like, should we write a book or should there be a small business or should there be something else? And so, one way that I think is probably good to interpret this is basically, I don't know what I'm saying. What I was trying to say is that there sometimes not knowing what to do can be a good thing because when we think we know what to do, then we can end up burning things down. And I'll get to that in a second. But when we think we know what to do, it can also become like an idol. When we plant our stake in the ground, we end up looking at the world through the fences we build around our own lives. And I think it's better to have a more open ended view of reality, always filtered through the lens of Scripture and of God. And if we plant our stake in the ground that we're going to be an author or an entrepreneur, and that becomes the lens through which we fit the things God is telling us, that can be a problem. Now, it's not to say that you can't be an entrepreneur or that you have to have a special calling from God to do it, but you do it with Him and you don't plant your stake and make it work. So, not knowing what to do can help things stay open ended. And what is good about that, too, not what's good, but one of the aspects, is this a double edged sword of figuring out what to do. On the one side of the sword, you want to listen to your desire and let that help you figure out what to do, because obviously, if you want to do something, you desire it, sometimes it's hard to figure out what we want to do, and it takes patience and awareness to learn that. On the other side of the sword, the other edge, is the problem that we can't fill our desire. No matter how much we do, we can't reach the end or fully satisfy the desire that we have. So, someone who thinks they know, like their full desire, or someone who has planted their stake in the ground about knowing what they're on this earth to do. I was about to say something. I forgot. Anyway, someone who thinks they know they're on what they're on this world to do can end up idolizing that. I already said that. Double-edged sword. Uh, oh, when you think you know what you're put on this world to do and you go after that desire and you think you can achieve it, you be let down because you can't fully fill that desire. So, not knowing what to do in this situation, it is the position you should take instead of feeling like you need to figure out what to do and then go run after that so you can get it fulfilled. You won't get it fulfilled, no matter how big you get, how perfectly it's accomplished. So instead of trying to fill your desire, let it fuel you. Desire is something that burns to push us forward, and it's a good thing, but it's not something that we try to fill up or completely satisfy. Like, you might satisfy it a little bit, and one way to look at this is like your desire is like a fire, kind of a analogy that sort of seems to fit together. And you can't ever fill a fire because it'll always just get bigger. And you also can't ever really satisfy it unless you've burned up everything there is to burn. And that's where letting ourselves lean too far into desire can become a problem, where we see it all the time. Famous people, really driven, entrepreneurial, or people that are really out to accomplish some particular thing, whether it be good or bad, lose sight of everything else in their lives, and sometimes, often, maybe, their lives burn down. And that's where this fire analogy seems to come in pretty well, where we need to beware the spirit of achievement and thinking that once we get that goal and that desire or that particular thing nailed down, that we will have made it and will be satisfied. Instead, you take a posture of maybe not holding on to it so tightly, onto that need to know exactly what you're going to do. It's not to say that you can't pursue something for decades on end, but especially for those that aren't sure what they need to do, there's grace for you, there's room for you, and you're in a good spot in some ways because you're like, just keep holding those. Keep that tension alive of not knowing exactly what to do, but you can pursue things. It's okay. God's a good father, and no father gets mad at their children for choosing one toy over another to play with. There's a lot of things available and open to you. So, the fire of desire is there to fuel you and to be fed, but not to be finished or to be satisfied. It's good to keep your desire alive, and desire is a good thing to fuel you. It's bad to try to satisfy our desire because it'll end up consuming everything. Stay close to God. He's a good father. That's all.